Military, Mission United Hampton Roads connects veterans, current and transitioning service members, and their families to community resources online. Housing, benefits, employment, and health care for you and your family. For information, visit missionunited-hr.org.
What you guys are doing takes a lot of guts. I know you're nervous, but this is what you're here for. This is the payoff for all your hard work. Now get out there and make them laugh.
Funny Bone, come on, how y'all doing?
If I can just get them to laugh on the first or the second joke, I can just take that momentum and keep on going with it.
The Funny Bone is just this huge venue. My nerves were through the roof. I was like way more nervous than I'd ever been.
I'm just in pure panic mode right now. What happens if I get up on stage and just go completely blank?
It's game time.
Forward, march. Comedy Bootcamp. Yeah, yeah. Comedy Bootcamp. Yeah, yeah. Comedy Bootcamp. You people get ready to laugh.
Louisville, Kentucky, that's where I'm from, born and raised. I had to have humor just to forget about poverty. Gotta get my game face on. Be funny, be funny.
That's what I said. But one time I had this mom come up to me with her 5-year-old daughter, and she said, "My daughter wants to thank you for your service." And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute. Do you want to be a soldier when you grow up?" And she went, "No, I don't want to get killed." I'm like, "That's smart. I wish I would have thought of that."
There's one thing that I really want to get up front at the very beginning to all my students. You will find out so much about yourself just learning comedy. You guys have a wealth of experiences more than just the average citizen, in my opinion. And I applaud you for your service. It's the foremost thing. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over the structure of a joke.
Comedy Bootcamp is an 8-week stand-up course for members of the military community. We offer it free of charge. It's instructed by professional comedians, and through the support of student volunteers, we give sort of veterans and service members a chance to learn the craft of stand-up, which ultimately culminates in a public graduation show.
We want to get a quick example of what you can write.
Armed Services Arts Partnership, ASAP, is the organization we run. Our mission is to empower veterans, service members, military family members through an avenue like comedy or music to better welcome these veterans home.
So write a joke out there. We're going to have you guys come up. We just want to see that you're applying these methods right here. All right? So you want to do a setup, punchline, taglines. So, all right? It takes probably several hundred to 1,000 times for you to be on stage, for you to begin to even scratch the surface of who you are as a comic. It's not just always about seeing them go on to be professional. It's seeing them come out their shell. Does anybody need any more time on a joke? I'm going to draw the first name will be Mike.
A little encouragement for Mike.
Yeah, Mike. My name is Mike Lake. Was in the Coast Guard, just shy of 16 years, and then they kicked me out for medical reasons. Tried the corporate route for a little while after I got out, and ultimately ended up working in a daycare in our home that my wife and I have. A lot of similarities with the corporate world. You still get people with poopy pants. You still have to spoon feed people. Commute's a lot better, though. I grew up in northern Michigan. My family, it seems like they were always laughing at me. I don't know if it was because I was funny or if they just were laughing at me, but I tried to be funny. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. It's on. Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, but just, project.
Hello, I'm Darlene Basadeva, and I am a veteran from the Air Force. I served 28 years.
We're not teaching people to be funny.
I'm Jim.
What we teach is the craft of stand-up and how to take one's inherent funniness and translate that in a stand-up way.
So my name's May Brayton. I am the one civilian my whole life. I'm a spouse. Being a military spouse is not the easiest relationship to be in. You know, you don't get to have your soldier, airman, sailor there for a long time. During the last couple of years, I've been in law school. That's what's been keeping me busy. I just finished, and instead of getting a real job, I am wanting to do some comedy.
My name is Susan Holler, and I am excited to be here.
Everybody went up and started trying to run off a routine. I kind of got a kick out of it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, yes.
It's like, yeah, I'm in comedy boot camp, and here's why, because I'm funny.
All right, William.
Probably we all overstretched just a hair.
Sorry if I'm moving slow. Does anybody in here work for the VA disability? No, okay. Gotta keep my percentage up. You know, I'm just a country boy from Kentucky. That's it. What you see is what you get.
Say, good job, everybody, for your first day. Give yourself a round of applause.
You spend your life in the military trying to do all the right things, but when you get out, it's like, what kind of person is out from that umbrella now?
Where were you deployed when you were
Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan.
How many tours of duty in Iraq? Yeah.
3.
3 tours of duty.
My PTSD stems from seeing horrific things and just the pressures of being deployed away from my family.
You had mentioned an experience that you had with one of the guards. Can you tell me some more about that?
And that was in Karshi Karnabad, and getting off of a 12-hour shift. And the soldier that was manning the guard station there, you know, he just took his M16 and just blew his own head off, you know.
So he shot himself while you were entering the area.
A lot of people don't know how to deal with that, and that's why you have a high suicide rate amongst people with post-traumatic stress disorder.
You had mentioned a number of suicides. How many people committed suicide?
4 of my friends.
4 of your friends?
Yeah.
Do you recall how you reacted? How did you feel?
Very, very distraught. I feel like that I'm supposed to be with them.
You're supposed to die too.
Yeah, it makes
How can you reconcile that?
I don't know if it's something you can actually reconcile. I laugh a lot, talk all kind of mess, but for other people, they don't know that inside my inner self is going through Armageddon.
In the spring of 2007, I was having a lot of back pain. I went in, the doctor's like, yeah, we found a compression fracture at L2. So did the military thing, gave me Motrin and then stronger painkillers for the summer. I finally got the diagnosis of ankylosing spondylitis. Coming to terms with that was not easy. It just seemed like there's this huge list of things that I couldn't do. And then over time, I started looking for things that I could do. And that's where I found out about sled hockey.
We're gonna work on some skills, skating, puck handling, shooting. Mike, we're gonna put you in the middle here. I want you to work angles coming out, and I want you to work sliding side to side.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna bring it all back together, okay? All right, let's go, guys.
One thing about being a goalie is once you get scored on, it's very easy to get focused in on that moment and forget about the next upcoming time.
Go, James, go, babe. Skate with it, skate. Take her.
Kind of like a lot of the things in my life where, you know, there's a setback and then you can either wallow in it or you can shake it off and bump forward.
Nice save. Nice save.
What's the demographic in the class like, military-wise?
It actually seems mostly Army Air Force. Seems to be there's one person in the Coast Guard, and I'm the only spouse. So.
Oh, no other, really?
Yeah, made me nervous at first because I was like, oh man, I guess I feel like
Maybe
I'm
light.
outside their experience, you know? I mean, I definitely am. Like, I can't run a ship. I don't know. You know, I don't really know your life. Doug was the first time I'd ever dated anyone in the military, and I guess I didn't know totally what I was in for. He was just such a nice guy that I couldn't imagine, you know, being without him, no matter what he did.
So, like, who do you practice on when we're out, like, I'm working, I guess, during the day?
I mean, Elsie and I have some good times.
Do you, like, sit her down and you're like, hey, I want you to pay attention right now?
She says,
She's like,
Mommy,
yeah.
funny.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you prompted her to say that.
That's
I was
funny.
like, oh, yeah, I got a fan.
Do I need to be worried about anything?
Like, oh, are you in there? I mean, you're definitely in there, yeah. I think it's funny that maybe at times I haven't always been moderate in my levels of jealousy. I don't know.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Think about how different I've been from when we first met until now. I think of how far I've come in my marriage to Doug. Before I met him, I was not a nice person. I was a mess. And he's been so accepting of me, and it's really helped me to accept myself. And now I feel so much braver, like I could go ahead and make mistakes. And it's a great feeling. I don't know, I'm a glutton for embarrassment, I guess. So sorry for dragging you with me.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
How we doing? Hey. Great. When you sat down to write, was there anything you got questions about?
How is it that you can get to the meat of the joke without, you know, how you're building up? Because it's kind of difficult for me.
One thing that you don't want to do with comedy is you don't want to complicate it. Go from your heart, especially right when you're first starting doing comedy. If you think something's funny, if you think it's funny here or there, get to it at your own pace. And you know, then by right around the second or third week, you'll start to get a general idea of how to get to that funny a lot quicker. Who wants to get up and share their assignment first?
There's actually a time in our lives when men and women really are much the same, and it's not when you think. A young lady, when she's pregnant, is most like her middle-aged father, okay? We both have growing abdomens. We both have growing boobs. We both have to pee a lot.
We're jagging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth through the parking lot, and I'm like thinking, I'm gonna jump out. Oh, help me, help me.
When I was in basic training, drill sergeant said, come here, private, get over here. He said, you think you high speed, don't you? I said, who a drill sergeant? I am high speed. He said, well, look, high speed, go over there and beat your face. Me, taking orders, I just did just what he told me to. I ain't want to do it. I went over there, I was like, damn. I had to do this again. So as you can see by the look of my face, I've been beating my face for 21 years.
When I dug my keys into the side of his pretty little souped-up four-wheel drive, carved my name into his leather seats.
Obviously, I have some limitations with moving around and whatnot. And it's interesting because people just do not know how to respond to that. They're either running in front of me to try and open doors or whatever, which is nice, I do appreciate that, or they're jumping away like I'm wearing a bomb vest.
Everything you got right there, I would say that's a good way just to start off your grad set. Very good. You learn from the good and the bad. The only way you're going to develop is get on stage. Stage time, stage time, stage time.
About to go meet up with my old commander, Major Armando Cuppinger. His wife, Isara, she went through this class, and as a matter of fact, he was the one that called me to go to this class. I was a cargo specialist. When the Army's gearing up to fight a war, we're pretty much first one on the ground.
I mean, how's the boot camp been going, man? I thought this might be good for you, man.
What is it that what you said to me that I was more, when I started doing the comedy boot camp, more pleasant to be. It was good to be able to talk to somebody that was in the unit with him and had the same experiences, because he as well has been struggling with that transition out of the military.
The Army became my security blanket. I know that. And when it was ripped out, I was, yeah, it was a little tough. So.
To me, it was very lonely. I mean, what you're saying, and so I think one of the reasons why I love doing this comedy boot camp too is because, you know, I got to, you know, make new friends and kind of get you out of that mindset that you were before.
I've noticed that, like, you everywhere. Major Carpenter, he always posts you, hey, my wife, go see my wife here, go see my wife there, go see my wife there, and all this kind of stuff. How do you deal with anxiety? And I know that's a part of your disability, which is a part of mine.
You know, when people haven't seen me, you know, curled up in a little corner, like wanting to kill myself. They haven't seen that, and they can't believe it because that's not what I choose to let people know. You know, I was this bitter person, and I wanted to be tough, and I needed to be yelling at people and just show how mean I can be when that's not me. That's not who I am.
To me, you're a great comedian, and I hope to learn a lot from you in the future. And so just, you know, keep me tight and give me some tips every now and again if you don't mind. But
I was like 4 when there was like a children's story and they had us come up and say what it is we wanted to be when we grew up. And I said I wanted to be a housewife. And everybody in the church laughed. People were just like, you know, it's not how things are anymore. Yeah? Fun. Oh, Mama just put those away, baby. Up. We're gonna put these away for now. Play with your blocks, please. It's funny because I'm not an orderly person. It's really just to have a happy marriage. Doug is clean. He likes it clean.
My wife Susie started the daycare in about 2002, 2003 time frame. It used to be our dining room. We converted it into the nursery after I retired. I worked for a contractor for about 6-7 months, and then it just worked out to be better to be here. So, huge thing with my condition is, you know, it's kind of one of those, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So I've got to keep as mobile as possible, trying to look at the world more like with a picture for seeing humor and comedy and things. Too far.
Good evening, y'all. Welcome to the Office Bar and Grill. I'm DJ Slice, and we're gonna have a good time tonight, y'all.
The karaoke DJ always got to sing a song first to break the ice, so to speak.
Come stop and cry, we'll be alright.
PTSD, it's a crazy condition. It makes me don't want to be around crowds. But when I DJ, I can hide behind music because music speaks to everybody.
You be in my heart, believe me, you be in my heart.
Once I grab the microphone, I'm in another world.
Now and
I say rock, pop, country, R&B.
Oh, far too kind.
That gives them the confidence to say, oh, okay, I'm gonna get up and sing a song too.
Just come to my hotel. Girl, you wanna come to the hotel? Baby, I will give you my room.
William is larger than life. He has the absolute best personality for this type of job. He just knows how to get people on a dance floor and keep them there. Very, very good at what he does.
We're having the after party, checking out free.
So yeah, we're lucky this week to have some Comedy Bootcamp alumni, you know, pick their brains. They were sitting in your seat not too long ago, and y'all will get the chance to learn more about and work with Team Fred as the class goes on. So with that, if y'all have any questions.
How do you do humor about the tough things in life?
The funniest things are the things that you experience. I do a prostate joke.
No, I already did that one.
The thing is, who would think that that experience, which is terrifying to me, would be funny? But people can relate to what you go through because, to be honest with you, you're probably not the first person that has went through what you want to talk about.
Yeah, so we're gonna get you all up to do your thing. I'll do like a little light when you're at 3 minutes. It doesn't mean stop it right away, it just means, wind down.
At the top and that's Angela.
Yeah.
I saw my pictures y'all took last week, so I'm ready now.
And now just.
Yeah.
Okay. In case I'm not ready for the summer.
So my parents had a coat of arms hanging above their bed, ceramic, and it said, "Once a king, always a king, but once a knight is enough." I thought, you go, Dad.
I didn't know somebody could teach you how to be a comedian. I wish they had a class to teach you how to be a lotto winner. Shit, that class would be short, wouldn't it? You come to class just to learn this.
The thing about falling out on the floor, like I said, like the very first week, it's just like sometimes it's when you got a very short set, sometimes it's just like too much. You know what I'm saying? So just like, but you can say all that. You can articulate it all that through your words and everything without actually doing it. You know what I'm saying?
There are trolls that are actually seeking out women who put on their Facebook pages, proud military wife, and just tearing them up, saying mean things about, oh, how dare you take credit for your spouse's service. And for instance, if someone put on some pounds after having some babies, stays at home with her kids, she becomes a dependopotamus. Okay. Yes, exactly. That's horrible because if we didn't earn our spouse's honor, how do we have access to our spouse's munitions? Okay?
Yeah. I could sense there's some realness there, and I think we really appreciate hearing like, this is some like, shit, did they do this?
Yeah.
And like that passion, I think, was like, we're on board with you. Like, this is terrible.
Yep. All right.
Sweet.
Good job, y'all.
Being the only spouse, I felt like I hadn't done the same amount of sacrifice as everyone else because I hadn't like committed myself to military service. So one way that I felt like I could serve the class was by creating a network. So from what you've already written in class, I'm sure some of that's going to go into your final routine, right?
I kind of wanted to start with what I started with on that first week and then just sort of arc it into the medical marijuana and the things like that.
What kind of cannabis-related humor? Because that has a wide appeal.
Very much contrasting the side effects of cannabis to many, many, many drugs. Lunchtime is a handful of pills, bedtime is another handful. The side effects of the medications that I take are nausea, fatigue. It also lowers my resistance to infection, so I end up getting ill probably far more frequently than I should. I joke about it, but the reality is that it really kind of sucks. When your option is taking a handful of morphine or eating a cannabis edible or vaping a little bit of it, I think the cannabis has less side effects.
Yeah.
And until our government wants to acknowledge that there are safer alternative medications out there, it's just something I'm gonna have to manage.
For me, it's been a big outlet to be able to do something outside of the home, because sometimes being a stay-at-home mom, it actually feels a little shameful in some ways. I do. I get sometimes like, you got educated and now you stay at home and you watch Daniel Tiger. I get a lot of mixed messages where people will say on one hand, you're doing the most honorable job in the world, and then the same conversation, the same person will turn around and say, so when are you taking the bar?
You're doing a great thing as a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
Okay, you are going to be contributing to your daughter's welfare and well-being when she gets older. You have the rest of your life to get out there and play with the workforce.
That's true. That's true.
As far as my wife is concerned, I just saw her in the club over there. I said, no matter what, I got to have that girl. It was kind of difficult because she didn't speak any English. We was young, so there wasn't a lot of talking going on anyway.
Let's do something today. There's a festival out there and I'd like you to take me.
What festival?
It's the Daffodil Festival. They have it once a year on Main Street.
There's a lot of people gonna be there.
You'll be okay. You took your medication, right?
Yeah, it's just a weird thing there, PTSD.
it just changed the whole family. It affects the whole family, you know?
I know. I mean, I didn't ask for it. It was just a career. When we deployed to Haiti after the earthquake, it was pretty devastating. My heart went out for them people. They brought a little child who her legs was severed. I just never seen nothing like that before. To see tragedy from a natural disaster, it has a different stench about it.
Yeah.
We just have to deal with it the best way we can.
That's life.
That's life.
Yeah.
Ain't that a Frank Sinatra song or something?
Mm.
But we can go to the daffodil.
Yeah, let's go and do that and let's have a little fun. You remember when I fussed with you and you cut my daffodils down? I told you cut the weeds, pull the weeds. I'm gonna take that weed eater away from you.
If it grows in my yard and I don't like it, I'm running over there with the riding lawnmower. That's it.
Leave the weeds and kill the flowers. No, no.
We always have our little bickering back and forth, you know, but most of the time it ends up in something humorous. She wasn't like my jokes anyway.
I do. You just never told me one.
Margie and I have been married for 25 years. It's human nature that you're gonna write jokes according to what you already know about, especially from family.
Don't do no joke about me.
Well, all my material, all my materials about you.
No, don't even say that. That's
There
right.
you go. How much is it? $2? Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate
There's your flower.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go over a little bit about stage presence. I'm gonna talk about techniques you use on stage. The more prepared you are, the more natural you can be.
Yeah, I can't even breathe when I get up there in class. I don't know how to shake that off of me.
So how did you manage that in the military when you had to get in front of people?
I was a driver's training instructor and I was never nervous about teaching, but this is like, man, I'm a nervous wreck.
I think it's because it's our heart. We're exposing ourselves. I think that's the difference.
Of course it is. It's that too. But hey, guys, you're here and there's a bunch of other people that didn't have the courage to be here. The grad show's the payoff. This is the hard stuff, really, believe it or not. So who would like to go first?
You know, chaplains are ministers who become soldiers. And the real truth is we're cross-dressers. Okay? We wear a cross on our uniform.
I am from a very large family. I'm 7 of 13 children. My parents were not Catholic or Mormon. They were just crazy.
Okay, so just the other day I got a question I haven't gotten for a very long time, which is, what are you? Which could be a poignant question. What are your hopes, your dreams? Who are you at your core? They're really asking, why are you this ambiguously taupe? I had expectations for my baby. Well, guess what? Birthing day, and the nurse handed me this blue-eyed, blonde-haired little mole rat. I said, who's this bitch?
What you said about the Lotto baby, the race of the future, that's funny. But then you said something like, you know, she came out, did you say like blonde hair, blue eyes, like who's this bitch? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So that was really good, yeah.
So what's the father's race?
My husband?
Yeah.
He's white, but he has dark features, and so I didn't expect her to come out.
Okay, so because I was like.
Yeah, we gotta know that too, yeah.
Have you ever seen a drug commercial? The side effects are worse than the condition. But there is a more natural means of treating a lot of conditions and a lot of illnesses, and that's medical marijuana. Problem with medical marijuana is we have our war on drugs. When I was in the Coast Guard, I've made drug busts. You know what? Marijuana doesn't shoot back. It's not a war, people.
I'm with you on the war drugs, but that's a waste of money, man. Anybody got anything else? You look like you got something to say on the topic.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, man. So hey, I will be at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone for your graduation show. The progression I've seen is amazing, man. It really, you guys should be proud of yourself, really should. All right, but it's great work with you guys. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
So I just wanted to let you guys know that ASAP is putting together a show in New York for Comedy Bootcamp alumni. So I'm gonna be going up there to perform. We're gonna have a headliner, and that's PJ Walsh, and he is a Navy veteran. Just get with me after this. Is anybody here that you know you wanna? All right, okay, go. See you there.
Obviously, one of the best parts of the trip to New York was actually the car ride.
Mike, William, and I were just really getting to know each other and getting to like understand each other's comedy better.
Between the three of us just talking about our different bits, talking about our different philosophies, it was really productive. This is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I feel like when I've been in front of the crew, I've been trying to like project and perform instead of just having a conversation.
Once you get more used to your routine, your bit, I think then you'll have that comfortability to act like it's a normal conversation, you know.
Right.
We had some beautiful discussions. We talked about jokes. So I think we got a strong bond.
I didn't expect that Mike and William hadn't been to New York before. So it was really exciting to be able to take them to Times Square.
Kind of humbling just to see the sheer size of the city. Seen it 30-some times on TV on New Year's, but to actually be able to stand in Times Square it was amazing.
Oh my God. New York and New York people, I love y'all to death, but I just can't be in no place with no grass. It was probably some people on the side smoking grass, but it sure wasn't none growing.
Well, it's crazy to think that anyone could get noticed here.
One day we're gonna all get there.
Y'all got it. We just have to work hard. That's all it is, right?
Gotta work hard.
Work hard. All right, where's this naked cowboy I hear about?
Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Gotham Comedy Club. We're very happy to be here up from DC and Hampton Roads. So, you guys ready for the show tonight?
I was in a first Gulf. Yep. On the front lines, trained as a dental technician. People ask me, you in the war? Yeah, the war on plaque.
Please put your hands together for Isaura Ramirez.
Getting to see Isaura perform,
This is exciting.
boom, blows the room away.
True, I did 13 years in the Army, and I even did a 15-month tour to Iraq. So now you know why the war took so long. I was handpicked to train the Iraqi army in vehicle maintenance. The most work I've ever done on a car is change a flat tire. And I did that by pulling over on the side of the road and flashing my boobs. Which did not go over well with the women in the Iraqi village, but I did win the men's hearts and minds. Well, thank you very much. That's my time.
I saw people who were in our class a year ago or less, and they were doing really well.
Have an awesome night. Thank you so much.
I have so many questions for PJ and Isaura, like how did you do it? What did you learn?
Because how far in are you? You're halfway, so how do you feel halfway?
I was feeling pretty good, because at that point you already have some material and you're getting your first laugh. I mean, that's the most, amazing part, like when you get your first laugh.
You know what I'm saying? If they don't laugh at me in class, why would I think somebody else gonna laugh at me?
We all can be funny with our friends. We have a history to say. But when you're going to bring something that's yours, yeah, if it don't work, you're like, oh man, that was personal. That's my, that's my funny right there,
They showed me, you gotta be real comfortable when you're doing stand-up, and then you have to know your stuff.
People want to hear what you're saying, so don't be afraid to really dig deep and just tell the story. The funny is gonna come.
Thank you so much for your time, guys.
We're thanking you for taking a trip up here to New York and supporting this, and you guys are the future of this. What you're doing is awesome.
Going to the 9/11 memorial over on the New Jersey side, that one kind of hit home.
It was a really meaningful time because I got to have some of the experiences of people who fought in the global war on terror.
I never got to see the Twin Towers in the flesh, but to actually get to see components of it, kind of an emotional experience to see that.
Just for me to have my hand on one of the metal beams, I felt in tune with the people who lost their lives, and some kind of way I wanted to say, well, you know, I did what I can do to support the war effort. I just still can't believe I'm really here. Now I can see what I fought for.
The trip to New York was really beneficial. I got to see what Comedy Bootcamp means to a broader audience.
Seeing how great these performers have gotten in a really limited amount of time, it just inspires me because I saw people come out there and say things like about their personal lives, and if you do it well, you can be really open with who you are.
Well, that was my first time in New York. That's a city of dreams. Pretty much a trip I will never forget. New York is something, it's beautiful, but no. Give me the country life any day. Is there anybody out here that work for claims of disability? No? Okay.
The material that you have up to this point that you work with Tim, we're going to fine-tune that in preparation for the graduation show.
So I had a baby in school, and when I was there, we got this nanny. Let's call her Jordan. So I was very surprised to find her sex blog detailing the generally inappropriate things she was hoping to do to my husband. So I sat her down for a chat, and her response, it was, "What's the big deal?" Okay, all right, Jordan, I'll tell you the big deal. You know, the holy bonds of matrimony or whatever, but...
Don't get no fried chicken like that, man. That is home cooking right there.
He put the hotter.
That's what I put on mine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you used to it. He ain't. His lips gonna look like Dolly Parton.
I like to be around friends who got the same condition that I do. I truly hope y'all come to the graduation, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Now get your hands together for Mike Lake!
It's very important to do events like this just because it gets me back into contact with my fellow military members. But more importantly, it's in memory of those who have been wounded and those that we are losing to suicide.
Wow, look at that. Check this out. Mommy carried around one of those. Can you believe that? Huh? Can you believe that?
It's bigger than me.
It is. It's almost bigger than you. Check it out. Come here. Let's see. Come here. Big puppy went here. And Mommy went outside of here. So, do you think any of these posters would go over well today?
This is just like so sexist. Like, this is women come in and help us, you know, the real soldiers.
No, it got better. It's in the 80s where equality is a fact.
Okay, well, you know, obviously somebody didn't fact check that.
What's going on, Kazi's? Welcome to Kazi's Thursday Comedy Open Mic Night. I'm your host, Team Fred, AKA Fred McKinnon. We have some special guests. We have the veteran military comedy boot camp class participants in the house. So let's give it up for our veterans. BT Comic View, Showtime at the Apollo. This first comic has watched all of those shows.
Doctors will happily prescribe you these dangerous drugs like, opioids. If you miss a dose of your opioid, you go into withdrawal. If you miss a dose of medical marijuana, you talk less, and that idea that you had for a drone that delivers McDonald's ice cream cones, it's not that brilliant. We kept each other energized, and that helped a lot with the butterflies.
So obviously I'm a stay-at-home mom.
After one person went up, I saw the confidence level in the next person like, oh, May did it, I can do it. It wasn't that bad.
So how did you feel? How did you feel?
When the first one got a good laugh and the second one got an okay laugh, I thought, okay, this is gonna work.
I guess the thing that occurred to me tonight was seeing other people bring their fresh first-time material up front, and they're not gonna have that nice little incubator where we had it all safe and everyone was delightful. It's gonna be a lot scarier after this.
Getting on the stage is terrifying, you know, because all eyes on you. And I kept telling, believe in yourself. And I saw everybody get up there and follow the instructions that they had learned over the weeks. When people laugh, you can pretty much say, okay, you got some good stuff. It was almost like the confidence level went up, the facial expression went up, you know, and it was like, we've created monsters. From here into the graduation show, the focus is that 5-minute set. The confidence that you show is based on the work that you put into rehearsing.
We all want to be great.
And you will be great. And you will be funny. But believe in yourself.
And I appreciate people helping, opening doors, all of that. That's all great. But if you're 20 feet behind me, I can probably manage the door without you running up, bumping into me, and grabbing the door. Just saying.
Think. Does that look welcoming? Do you want to go down?
Hi. Oh.
Whee!
Touch me. Oh my goodness.
Okay. No, come off the side.
No.
A little self-conscious. That's normal.
Woo!
Some good stuff, man. You only got one life to live, man. You know what I mean? Tomorrow's not promised. If you want to have a little fun, you just do, you know? And don't even think about it.
The show before the grad show, we really started to realize how much we were going to miss each other.
Okay, so
you're just showing off your whole wardrobe, aren't you? What, everything, always in
We were just like, wow, this is coming up to the end.
Everybody's a little different to me today. They're a little somber, not quite as,
We were all kind of realizing that this was the last time we were going to be together until the grad show. It's funny, people seem to think that you actually have to be paralyzed to be allowed to use a wheelchair. I think it's all the kids that use the little power carts in there when they really shouldn't be.
My mom would give me the look. Don't pretend you don't know what that look is about, because if you're married, you've gotten it from your spouse.
That the Navy takes away about half of your marriage. I wrote a poem in its honor. Monogamy is like poetry because most will find it boring. That's a haiku.
I come from a small town. It's called Titty Hill. Have you heard of it? Titty, you have? It's got a nice little roundabout.
I loaned my sister some money one time, and 2 years went by, and I just forgot about it. And so I called, I said, when you gonna give me my money that I loaned you? She said, I don't wanna hear that. I said, girl, I don't care if you was Martin Luther King and you had a dream you weren't gonna give me my money. You gonna give me my money.
There's just something kind of somber about the class, but now I realize where that was placed in the trajectory of the class. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was our last kind of real time in a classroom space together.
It's like game time. You know, I gotta get my mind right about
That's
this
right,
stuff.
that's right. Get it, baby.
My theory is that if I can just get them to laugh on the first or the second joke, then I can just take that momentum and keep on going with it. But that's really just anxiety. Like I said, I'm gonna take my medicine and hopefully I'll be all right. So I'm gonna call my mom though.
I'm here floating before my first comedy show at the Funny Bone. Relax, get rid of some pain, and get focused for the show. Every time I come and float, it pretty much clears my brain of most everything. I'm gonna be in panic mode before I go up. But it's like once I get up there and I make the first joke, and relax completely.
What do you think in the long run? Do you think you want to keep doing this?
I mean, I love doing it. I just, lately I felt like my energy is so much lower.
I didn't realize how much work goes into a set, you know?
Yeah, it's
Just
a
what,
lot.
like a 5-minute set. But I think it's good to have personal goals as well as family goals, and I think watching you achieve it has been really exciting. Right, Elsie? Right? You proud of Mama? Yep. Let's do it. Game on.
Yeah, we'll go big slide. This way.
Big slide.
Go that way?
Hello, hi mama. Hey mama, look, check this out. So we've been in class for like 8 weeks, and today we graduate. It's something like real big to me, mama. And you know what? In my routine, mama, I got a joke about you.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, baby, I love you. Love you, Margie.
Love you too.
I love
Bye-bye.
you more, mama.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. So you ready to go? Let's boogie.
How y'all feeling? Good. What you guys are doing takes a lot of guts. This is the payoff for all your hard work. I know you're nervous, but this is what you're here for.
Y'all are gonna rock it.
Yeah.
Funny Bone, come on, how y'all doing?
I was actually 1,000 times more nervous for the Funny Bone.
It's a little bit overwhelming to see the size of it.
In my mind, I was like, you don't get that chance no more, you know.
To be practicing in the green room where like all of these fantastic comedians have signed the wall.
I had anxiety, almost panic level.
It made me feel like I really had to step up.
When the lights went down and you could look out and see a crowded house and people excited, that's when I was like, this is gonna happen.
Y'all ready to laugh? Our first comedian recently retired from the Army, so please welcome William Breckenridge.
When I walked up on the stage and did that first joke,
Hi, I want to clear the air, y'all. Is the person who approved my VA disability in this room right now? No? Okay, shit.
and they laughed, it was all over then. I knew I had them and I wasn't gonna let go.
I got PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. The strange thing about it, I thought I had that since I was like about this high. My mother used to take me to the store when I was a little kid, and you know me, little kid, you know, grabbing random stuff off the shelf, and she hit me in the head and said, put that shit down. So that's what I thought PTSD meant, put that shit down.
It's hard to describe the exhilaration. It's like really addictive. It's something that you want to be able to go back and do over and over and over. When you see doctors a lot, you kind of start to get bored. I had some electrodes put into my back to try and like block the pain signals. Now it's supposed to be like a gentle tingling sensation. So when the technician was getting ready, she's like, okay, I'm gonna turn it on now. It's like, okay, all right, it's on. She didn't find it that funny.
The main thing for me is just being able to see, you know, that person that walked in the first day and then who they are now when they get on stage, and then after they're done, like you can see their smile like from ear to ear.
People are under this misimpression that you have to like be paralyzed to use a wheelchair. So when I get back to my car and I stand up, I always get dirty looks from people like I was cheating. Like whenever I see that look, I'm like, it's a miracle.
Well, I'm pumped because I have recently figured out Yankee Doodle. Yeah, okay. I know now what doodles get yankied in order to keep it up. So Yankee Doodle's just going to town, riding his little pony. I feel like that set was the best set I'd ever done. Every moment was well rehearsed, even though I had to look at my arm like twice. What if pancakes were the thing we had to be faithful with? I saw you spreading your syrup all over that Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. And I've had other offers. I mean, there is a very tasty chocolate pancake in my spin class. I could have had an international house of pancakes
It was nice though that the final note of the class was the grad show, which ended on such a sense of accomplishment that, you know, people reflected on the somberness and the feelings of nostalgia, but we're able to end on a celebratory note.
Yes, 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 yes. Motivation level should be high.
All right, everyone. Y'all did it. Y'all did it. Give yourself a round of applause. That was awesome. Honestly, every one of you hit your jokes we've been working on. The crowd loved it. You all should be very proud of yourselves. So thank you. It's been such a pleasure working with you all for the last 8 weeks. Y'all are rock stars. I hope we stay in touch. So give you all a round of applause. Yeah.
If I'm in order, the first people I would like to think that had an impact in my life is Tim Lulis, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and also Ryan Ewan and Sam Pressler, man. Y'all did this because y'all actually care for the veterans. And the comedy boot camp came in my life when I was spiraling down, you know, really talking about suicide, you know. It made me think, man, I should damn stay alive, man. I really should stay alive. So I just want to thank those 3 people, you know.
You know, looking back at the class as a whole, the excitement, the nervousness, the questions, like the self-doubt on day one, and then as, you know, the weeks went on, watching everybody else's progression as we all kind of went through that same metamorphosis and kind of change, it was really exciting. For me, it had a lot of benefits because it really gave me something to focus on for that window of time.
A lot of people have made me feel better about a role that in some ways I thought was kind of like an accessory. You know, the reason I move from place to place isn't for my work, and it's been hard to find an identity that doesn't make me feel unimportant. And these people have helped me feel like my contribution is valuable.
I love doing comedy. I loved performing. And I kind of had an idea that I would going into the class, but I didn't realize how strong it would be by the end of the class.
My classmates, awesome. We all improved from like day one. We'll probably see them in the future in some big venue or something like that.
When I first found out about the White House show, I thought that Sam was just pranking me. I was like, there's no way that we're going to the White House and you're taking me with you.
You know, looking back over a year ago when I first signed her up for this comedy boot camp, she had just gotten out of the Army. She was having a really hard time. After she finally did it, it's been a blessing. I mean, she's happy, and here we are at the White House, so this is pretty impressive, pretty amazing.
How you feeling, Dad?
Feeling good, ready for this.
This is the coolest thing Dad's ever done.
I didn't really know what I was going to do beyond the graduation show. Back in my mind, there was always this little, like, dream, hope, wish that something bigger would come from it than just the class. And now I'm realizing that.
I thought you were going to drop out of the class.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't think Dad was going to find a lot of humor in himself.
How about you, Mama?
You've come a long, long way, and I'm very, very proud of you.
Thanks.
I'm going to the White House to perform stand-up comedy, and I just would never, in my wildest dream, ever think that I would be at this point where I am now.
It's amazing. I mean, he's doing really well. I love it, and I'm totally excited.
It's been inside of him, and now he's just showcasing it.
I'm just focused on making people laugh, you know, and I think that's one of the things that we're missing in our society. We have lost the ability to laugh with each other, to love each other.
when I was in the green room, I was thinking that I just wanted to die right there. I never thought I would make it to the White House ever. This is like the peak of my career.
Put your hands together right now for my friend Isara Ramirez.
Being in the military, I didn't have to worry about this thing, like what you're wearing. We changed the uniforms to a digital pattern, so we can blend in with our computers.
My initial thoughts was that this is really impossible, because how could somebody like me be going to the White House?
My dad was so strict, when I was young, he'd smack you in the mouth if you laughed at the dinner table. And don't let him have a hot piece of fried chicken in his hand when you laugh. You ever got smacked in the face with a hot breast?
When I heard feet running from like 20 feet behind me, and the dude knocked me over to get the door. I can get it myself next time.
Thank you to ASAP and the White House for allowing this day to happen.
Comedy boot camp, baby. Yeah, yeah. Comedy boot camp, baby. Yeah, yeah. Comedy boot camp, baby. All right, you people get ready to laugh.
Military? Mission United Hampton Roads connects veterans, current and transitioning service members and their families to community resources online, housing, benefits, employment, and health care for you and your family. For information, missionunited-org.